Talking?
He'll let us know. Okay, so we're on Facebook. Hello, friends out there in Facebook land. Losers. No, I mean, so here we are, another night here doing our Facebook Live. We're going to have a great show today. We have Ashley, Karen. Ashley's from the town of Hempstead Shelter. Karen's from the town of Brookhaven Shelter. Hiding behind us down here is this beautiful 2-year-old disputable Alaskan Malamute, or what did you say? Did you say Malamute Husky, whatever. She's gorgeous. She's 2 years old. She needs a special home. And then once we get started here, we're going to talk about hospice, which this shouldn't be a sad show. We're always going to have fun, and we're just going to, we need special people, the shelters do, in conjunction with Houndstown Charities, to find people that want to take care of dogs that are in a hospice situation. We're going to talk about that. So we're going to have a lot of fun, I think. And then during our 7-minute break, for those of you on Facebook, we'll show you that Zara, this 2-year-old husky, is a perfectly fine dog. She's going to walk around the airport and she's going to do fun stuff. So stick with us, and we're going to go live in about a minute on the radio and talk to our friends on the radio and on the internet. And that's it. I'm going to introduce everybody, and we're going to talk, and we're going to have fun, blah, blah, blah. And then you let me know if any of our friends in Pittsburgh are listening.
Yeah, I'll listen.
Did you ever get your bottle of water? You did? Yeah, good. You're all set. All right. What are you laughing about over there?
You.
20.
Me? Yeah, crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. We got to talk about handcuffs to heal and fresh air.
In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould, Mayor of Houndstown, USA, home to the absolute happiest dogs on earth. Houndstown, USA is home, of course, to the happiest dogs on earth. Why is that? We have 30 locations in about 10 states and growing very rapidly. We were just named number 11th fastest growing franchise in the United States. And you know, franchises, there's thousands of them. And the reason we're moving so rapidly is our business model and how we interact with dogs. So for those of you who don't know what Houndstown is, it's a fully interactive daycare or pet care facility. What does that mean? That means dogs of all shapes and sizes come to daycare, and we put them in packs. So that our strong point is knowing how to group dogs and understanding their body language, understanding dogs are dogs. So they're by nature, they should interact with one another. So we provide these wonderful, wonderful interactive packs. We start early in the morning, and the dogs play till 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And when they're done, they go home, and then they go back to their normal life, trying to interact with humans. So anyway, so Houndstown, USA, we do daycare, boarding, grooming. I have to give my shout outs to Joan and Tom Sullivan down in Florida, Beverly Hills, Florida, that is, not California. Beverly Hills, Florida. And so they're listening. So tonight I have 2 very special guests with me. From the town of Hempstead Shelter, I've had Ashley Boyd with me. For those of you on Facebook, you'll see I've referred to 2 lovely human beings here. So welcome to our show. Oh, you just put that little microphone near you. There you go. Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
So I've been trying to get Ashley on the show for a long time. I've been doing a lot of work with the town of Hempstead Shelter. And then also joining us tonight is kind of her counterpart in the town of Brookhaven. And that would be, of course, the very lovely Karen. And what's most important, slide up to that microphone. Well, pull the microphone towards you there, don't break it. Right, so anyway, so Karen was nice enough to bring this amazing dog with us. So anybody at home right now, if you're home alone drinking a bottle of wine and you're so lonely, you know, you might have had, we have this beautiful husky, 2-year-old husky. She'll be good. Danielle will make a noise or something. She'll look. Yeah. So there's that beautiful Facebook. If you're looking at this beautiful 2-year-old husky, and she's really adorable. She's up for adoption to the right person. So we're very selective. We're not hard up. Zara's not hard up for somebody to adopt her. We want a very special home for her. Somebody that understands dog, because she's a big, powerful dog. And if you stay with us during our break, Karen is going to demonstrate her skills. And it's nothing big. She's not going to be jumping through hoops of fire. But you can see she's a very social dog just by the Danielle is doing this Facebook thing, and Zara is just looking at her. She's not attacking the iPad. I'm going to squeak my squeaky toy. And she's just interested, but she's not aggressive. She's sitting here so peacefully. And Karen, by the way, has done this amazing job because she wasn't always this way. This is a big, powerful dog. So Karen, talk about Zara for a minute. What's her story?
So Zara came to us July 29th. The Good Samaritan found her at the Family Dollar in Mastic. She was very rambunctious and did have a lot of people that were interested in her, but mostly just superficially. They liked the way she looked, but when we took her out for the meet and greets, she was jumping all over them. She was really obnoxious, and we weren't able to find the right fit for her, and it wasn't working out so well.
Right.
But she is spayed. She's up to date on all of her vaccines. She's microchipped, heartworm negative, and current on all of her flea and tick and heartworm preventative.
No, she's a beautiful dog, and for those of you out there, I mean, particularly if you like this particular breed, she's pretty true to her breed. I mean, there's no denying. She looks great. Karen has been doing a lot of work, as I said. So dogs that go to the shelter, they're there usually for a reason, right? They're strays or whatever the story is. So we don't know the history on her, so she never had a leash on her in her life. She may have ran around somebody's backyard. But Karen has done this amazing job. So Zara is available for adoption. What's the story? How much does it cost? What's when they come to adopt, what do? They go to the Brookhaven Animal Shelter.
Yeah, she's at the Brookhaven Animal Shelter. It's $137 to adopt. But like you mentioned earlier, we're looking for a home with experienced adopters, no other pets or children, and someone with time and commitment to provide stability and structure.
Definitely, and that is so important. So to give this dog to the wrong person, so just because you like huskies and you had a husky when you were little, or your 10-year-old kid wants a husky, that's not the right fit. It's got to be there's a responsibility. You know, back in the day, I would be glad to pay Houndstown Charities would be glad to pay the $135 adoption fee, but I won't. You know why? Because you have to understand there's a financial commitment to this. So if you can't afford to adopt her, $135, what would you say it costs just on average to take care of a dog? Is there a figure on that? Like, do we know anything that you could guess? What do you think, ladies? $1,500? It's got to cost you got to go to the vet.
Yeah, the food and the vet alone would be a few hundred.
Yeah, so the point of the matter is, it's not only an emotional, this is not something you give it a try. You make a commitment to a dog. So these are family members. They're not property. So when you adopt a dog, it's not your possession. It's part of your pack, your family. And as Karen said, we don't want little children around the dog because we don't know. She's a 2-year-old dog. She's almost fully adult. She's almost fully matured adult. So we don't know anything really about her. That's why we have her at the airport today, to see kind of what her triggers are. She's going to lay down in a minute, take a snooze. So that's that. And then once, then we're going to start talking about a little bit with both Karen and Ashley about this concept of hospice care. So, people sometimes don't realize, right? So just like the life cycle of a dog is relatively short compared to ours. So, 10, 12 years, they get diseases, they get leukemia, they get all kinds of cancer. We're looking, they're looking, and they're going to talk about, Karen's messing up the place here, don't you know? So there was a couple of special dogs that they both are thinking about. So here's the story. If somebody is out there wants a dog, this husky is beautiful. She's about as healthy as can be. She's got a great personality, but she needs, again, to be the right person. So if you have a backyard that you can keep her contained, safely contained, you never have to do anything with her. She can run, she can play in the backyard. So then we're going to talk about Ripley and Thumpling, and who else are we talking about?
Callie.
All right, so let's go back to Ashley. Ashley, so you called me, so you have a couple of dogs that you wanted to talk about. So let's talk about hospice. What's that about? What are you looking to have to happen?
So many times in the shelter, dogs come in and they can, obviously, like you said, we don't know their history, we know nothing about them. They come in to us as brand new, and we have to do initial exams and find out. And there's a lot of times where dogs will come in with, sometimes a terminal disease, whether it be cancer. I mean, most of the time it's cancer, but different types of cancer, lymphoma or tumors, or maybe a heart condition, heart failure, something like that. So there are a lot of people that aren't ready to take on that commitment of a dog that might have a shorter lifespan, obviously because of that. But there's a big need for that in a lot of our shelters. Currently, I'm fostering a dog that's got lymphoma, so she doesn't have much time left. But that's the whole point of the fostering, just to get her out of the shelter setting so she can just have comfort in whatever time she has left. And I know currently at Hempstead we have another dog that's looking for a hospice situation. She has most likely leukemia. It seems we're going to the oncologist this week, but her blood work is indicative of leukemia, so
Right.
she also has a shorter life. So we're looking for a hospice or a foster home for her until she passes.
Right. And this is a great thing. It's a great thing for human beings to understand. Number one, dogs predecease us, right? That's just there's a life cycle, and their life cycle, just like humans' life cycle, just like hospice for humans. So it's obviously an emotional situation, but if you just could, if there's somebody out there, I certainly would do this. We've done this at Houndstown where some of our customers ask, they say, please, we'd rather the dog die in the loving environment that we provide than when they're at work. Obviously, people can't be home 8, 10, 12 hours a day. So if there's somebody out there, and does the shelter provide, what do they provide for? What are you asking for people to do?
Yeah, so it's basically just to open your home to give the dog the time, because the shelter covers all the medical expenses. We can even, give food and supplies if you want. Most people will just buy the food themselves, but it is provided by the shelter. You did it for that bull mastiff, right, at Brookhaven?
I don't know. Oh, Wilbur?
Wilbur, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, if you actually, that's funny because Jackie's going to want to talk about it. Jackie asked me to mention that. So we do, you know what, we'll pick that up after the break. We'll talk about Wilbur and what we did for him. And we did his bucket list. There was a top 10 things that we wanted, and we took him swimming, and we did. So the whole point is to lighten up a little bit and understand this life cycle. And if you can, you get yourself in the emotional place where you're just doing just nice, just bringing a dog came into the world and is going to go out of the world, and it's nice when you provide them the certain comforts. So we're going to take a break. We're going to be a break for 2 minutes, then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about Wilbur. We're going to talk about all these dogs at the shelter and some that need hospice care right after the break. All right. Anybody watching?
All right.
Yeah, we got a couple.
Who's out there? Anybody?
Sarah was watching. I don't know if she is anymore.
Sarah Richardson?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I can't see whoever else is.
All right. Okay, right. I forgot Wilbur. I wonder how we can get Wilbur.
As I was talking, I was like, wait a minute, you did that for us. Like, you did hospice for Wilbur.
Wilbur was a good boy.
You're welcome.
I liked
Make
him.
him
Do you remember Wilbur? Did you ever
That's
see
when
his top
Sean was
10
there.
list?
Oh, yeah.
Sean?
Yeah, I remember the top 10 list. That was nice.
Oh, Sean.
The pug that I have now is literally the most spoiled dog.
So the pug is the one you got
She's
at
the
your
first,
house.
yeah,
But the other
hospice.
one, let's see if we can get somebody to do this. I'd be really anxious about that. Let me see if I can get Wilbur's. Post.
The dodo. The people from the dodo actually took her yesterday.
What's the
hospice.
dodo?
It's like a
What, a
online
Facebook thing.
They post cute videos.
the dodo.
I don't know what a dodo is.
It's on social media. It's
Oh.
like an outlet. They do blogs and
Oh.
videos and all this stuff. And
They reach
they have a
out
very
to
big following.
About
So one of the
stories.
people from there took the dog that has leukemia at Hempstead yesterday just for like a day trip to try and promote her. So we're hoping. It's just such a nice dog.
All right. And what else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about this fleet taxi.
Oh, well, I have my promotions. If
Okay, good. We'll
possible.
get to that. We'll go back to that. Back to that.
Promotions.
Well, I was going to say,
What are your
stick
promotions?
to the hospice on that end because we don't provide the same
Oh.
benefits.
All right, not the same benefits, but all right, we'll hang around that. But you have some
They
dogs.
don't, they're not going to pay anything.
That's all right. Well, Houndstown Charities.
15 seconds.
We're still on Facebook.
What do they got to pay for?
Well, we have to communicate.
I mean,
Oh, well,
well, if you look at Dumple, she doesn't have any.
Dumple.
I
Yeah,
know, but she
five,
is
4,
with them.
3.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould, mayor of Houndstown, USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. So we're going to talk again. We have some really kind of special guests tonight. We have a really cool dog with us. We're on Facebook Live, by the way. So yeah, I'm the mayor of Houndstown, USA. Of course, self-appointed, elected. You know, I wasn't voted in. I'm a self-appointed mayor. And as mayor of Houndstown, USA, we're flying out to Detroit next week. Next Saturday, we're opening up a beautiful Metro Detroit Houndstown. It's like a mega facility. It's 11,000 square feet. So the mayor is flying out. Of course, all my associates and assistants, Danielle will be flying out. We're going to have this really wonderful grand opening, or I should say a soft opening next Saturday. And it's going to be cool. Watch it follow the antics on Facebook. So that's Detroit. We're also going for a grand opening in Pittsburgh, right, Danielle? Next, what did we say, the 16th?
I believe it was the 16th.
Yeah, so I believe it was Saturday the 16th. They're having their grand opening. And this place is another really cool place. It's on Penn Avenue, right side. It's in the city of Pittsburgh, but very close to the central city. And anybody who's never been to Pittsburgh, it's really a cool city. It's I think it gets, if you haven't been there, you might envision it differently than what it really is. You might envision it as like this whole coal-producing, smog-filled city. And it's not that way at all. It's got cool stuff, cool people. So yeah, visit. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing the grand opening. We're opening in Orlando, North Carolina, Nashville, Atlanta. Vegas. So hopefully Vegas. We're keeping our fingers crossed. Danielle's all about that. She wants to. She's ready. She's got her bags packed, ready to go to Vegas. So that might happen. So all right. So before the break, the first segment, I should say, we were talking about hospice care. So we have two wonderful representatives of our local shelters. And Houndstown does a lot of work. We partner up with shelters. In fact, in Detroit, we just made a really great partnership with the Michigan Humane Society. And we're rolling out some different programs, which we'll talk about in the third segment, what actually we do for shelters. So Ashley Boyd Behrens is with me tonight, and she's from the town of Hempstead Shelter. I've known Ashley for many years now. We have done programs with her together. We did something called Handcuffs to Healing last year or the year before, where we took in 6 shelter dogs from Brookhaven, took them out to the inmates in Yaphank, and it was just a nice thing. I mean, eventually I think most of the dogs got adopted. And it was a good experience for us, and it was a good experience for the inmates, because if you think about it, you know, the way I saw that, in particular, this Handcuffs to Healing, so the inmates got themselves in a bad spot, and of course, they did it themselves, so unlike the dogs got themselves in the shelter for no reason of their own. They just got there for however life circumstances, they end up in a shelter, basically incarcerated. And then, so we started this Handcuffs to Healing. It was really kind of, not hard work, but it was a lot to coordinate. Going into a jail, it has its mechanical problems, right? Or logistical, I should say. Logistical problems. But we did it, and it was a lot of fun. We'd go out there once a week. We'd bring the 6 dogs, and that was nice. So that was one program. So now we're talking about something I think we have to partnership with the shelters, and this is the concept of hospice care. So, obviously dogs, like humans, there's a beginning of life, puppyhood through the end of life. And hospice is the middle, or it's a time when dogs are terminally ill like humans, and they want to be cared for in a very loving way, in a respectful way. So Ashley, talk about that, pick up that about the hospice and what we want to do and the dogs we have available.
Yeah, so as I was saying before, dogs come in the shelter, and some come in with these diseases already, and so we have to find placement for them so they're not passing away in the shelter. So there is a need out there for people to open up their homes to these terminally ill dogs, whether it be cancer or heart problem or whatever's going on. just to give them a really good quality of life at the end of their life. So currently I'm fostering a dog that has lymphoma. She is spoiled rotten. She dresses up every day. She has her own Instagram.
Right.
And we have a dog currently at Hempstead that also has cancer that needs a hospice foster. All the expenses medically are paid for. We can provide the food. We want a place for them to be able to stay comfortable in their lives.
Right. So this is a very interesting thing. If you can, this is just an emotional thing, but if you understand that a dog's life cycle is shorter than ours, we know that. So if it's kind of, if you can just open up your heart and understand, there'll be some sadness, but there'll also be tremendous reward because you're going to be helping, or not helping, just being there for a creature, a living creature, and helping them, comfort them through the inevitable. Death is inevitable. News alert. Just news alert. We're all going to die. Frankly, I don't want to sound selfish, but I hope my dogs predecease me. I know that sounds horrible, but I want to live longer than my dogs. Probably won't happen because my two-legged dog Rosie she's about 1 year old, so I'm sure she's going to outlive me. But the point is, a lot of times, honestly, I find it selfish. I don't want to call people selfish, but you're selfish in thinking just do the right thing. There's nothing to it. So if you're you're home more often than not, you're retired and you're just a couch potato sitting around watching television, that's great. Have a dog with you and understand that you could do this amazing thing for them for 6 months, a year, for whatever, and they'll leave this world very peacefully and in comfort. And if you can kind of wrap your arms around that emotional part of it, you'd be doing a wonderful thing. So did you say there's a particular dog at Hempstead now?
Yeah, her name's Callie. She's about 8-9 years old, and she has cancer, so we're just trying to find a spot for her to spend her days.
Right, and you should call the shelter. You should call Ashley at the town of Hempstead and just ask her. You just maybe want to inquire what does it involve. Many of these hospice dogs, they just require love. There's not a big medical. Maybe they require medication, but maybe not even. So
she has eye ointment for something else.
Right. So like hemorrhoids or something. Yeah. So unrelated to her. Right. But my point is, it's not so bad.
Very easy.
Very easy. Yeah. There you go. So this dog's name is Callie. If you're like me, you're getting older in life and you're trying to fast track your way to heaven, do something nice, right? For all the bad things you've done all your life, go take Callie home into your heart. Ashley, the town of Hempstead will walk you right through the steps you have to take. It's not difficult. You'll have this loving companion. You just have to realize that she's not going to be around forever, and she can leave this world in very loving arms. And I think it's amazing. I've done it, and I get it. Obviously, we cry. Our staff, it's emotional on our staff, but that's okay because you're doing something bigger than yourselves. So the selfish part is, I can't stand to do this. That's selfish. You can do it. You should do it. And when the dog passes, it's a very spiritual, rewarding experience. I think so. And we've done this. Houndstown has done it many times. And as I said earlier, many of our customers would ask, please, can they please just stay with you at Houndstown for the last months, weeks, years of their life? We did, and I didn't get to it because I'm rambling so long. But after the next break, we're going to talk about Wilbur. Because what was that story? What was Wilbur's story? Do you remember? He had some kind of illness.
Was it his heart?
Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly what the illness was, but we knew he didn't have much time left. He had a tumor of some sort, I think. And you guys had taken him into Houndstown and then did like a bucket list with him and just let him live out his days. You had him in your backyard, I suppose.
Yeah, he was swimming. He was on the diving board. He really. So we let them live their best life, and it's so cool and it's such a good experience. So just think about that. It's a different thing. Don't be selfish out there. Do something kind. You'll get extra points going to heaven maybe. For all the bad, evil things you've done throughout your life, and I know you did, so you know who you are, you know who I'm talking about out there. So that's Callie, so call the town of Hempstead, ask for Ashley Boyd Behrens, the assistant director, and she'll give you this opportunity. That's the way I see it, as an opportunity. You have an opportunity to call in, do the right thing. After the break, so for you people on Facebook, we're going to take a break. We're going to go outside with this dog, Zara. Right, Karen? She's up for adoption, 2 years old. Karen's just going to walk around. Nothing special, just going to walk around to show you how cool this dog can be. So just watch us on Facebook now, and then we're gonna be back in 7 minutes. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, let's go. You got your little camera?
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna be nice and relaxed. And let me bring some treats for this. All right, so we're gonna go out here in the airport and understand the airport. The airport is crazy. There's crazy things coming on. Come on out there. And just go down here. So here's our friend. Whoa, good, you're doing good. Relax. And you see the dog's on her left side. She's relaxed. Good, perfect, good, perfect. Then turn right towards us, Karen. There you go, come our way. Good, good, good. The dog's fine. Look at how, go this way, make a loop around her. Yeah, 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 good. And this is, what's her name, Zara. There you go. Good, 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 good. That's right. Good, good. Make a left. And you see how the dog is walking on her side? Karen just accomplished. This dog was very difficult on a leash. She was a jumper, a humper, a dumper. Now she's gotten Karen in a couple of short weeks. See, she can go a little faster, go a little faster. That's her sprint. Now turn right towards us. Good. And then I'm going to just take her. So this is Karen. Karen and Zara. And then just come by me. I just want to play with her a little bit. So she already really loves Karen. She's bonded with her. And that's just from, we have a very special kind of, good. Notice she's not pulling on the leash. I'm handling her with 2 fingers. She's a happy dog. She's not suppressed. The tail's not between her legs. Good girl. Let's see if I can just get her up on the, ship her off to Hawaii. Good, good. So now she's up on the belt. She can be a TSA dog. And now here comes the Zamboni, which, of course, for a dog, that could be like a monster. So here, I just want you to see, relax. We can walk slowly. We can walk fast. She's not barking at the Zamboni. She's here. Yeah, yeah, girl. We'll see if we can get her. We won't even bother getting her to sit. Well, keep that. So then I can step out my right. She'll S-T-A-Y. We don't talk. We don't look. We don't touch. There, if you take this for granted, think of your dog at home right now. This dog is at the shelter for $130. Are you for real? This is like a show dog. What? Right foot, whee. Left foot, watch what happens. And this is a happy dog. Left foot, dog, you're gonna walk. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna stop. She's smelling all the odors. Right foot, the dog is gonna SDA. Zara, available for adoption, 2 years old, spayed, chip, medicines, vitamin, whatever. This is one cool dog. I'm gonna walk by again. Watch my left foot, no talking. She's seeing the Zamboni over there. Then she's gonna do some TSA work. Wrecking the place. She might have found drugs over here. All right, I'm being silly. Let me see if she'll go on her bed. Wait, thank you, Ashley. I don't know what more to say. This dog is like ready to go. We'll help you understand these behaviors. She's about as cool as can be. What else should I do? Here, I'll give her a treat. Here. Hello, she's genius here. I'll give her a treat. And then, let's see. I'm gonna walk with her. Hi, come on. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Really, I don't know what else there is to do. Good girl. Let's see if I can make her a therapy dog. Real quick. Good girl. No tension. There's no pinch collars. There's no electric collars. There's no prong collars. There's a piece of rope. Now, let's see. I'm going to get my wheelchair. Whee! Whee! So here she is. This is the, I mean, we're just doing this for the first time. So I think my point is, giddy up, giddy up. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. This dog is waiting at the shelter. I don't want to break your heart. She's going to go home to the shelter tonight. And she's going to sleep in the shelter. Let's go inside and finish our silly show. Okay, Karen, great job. Let's go. You did a great job. Go ahead, take her. Ooh, it's hot in here. All right, are we still on Facebook?
Yep.
I mean, honestly, this gets me nuts. This is a dog some lunatic would pay thousands of dollars for to have a dog bred like this. Is she perfect? No. Are you perfect? No. No one's perfect. So this is Zara at the town of Brookhaven Shelter. We're going to talk about her for a few minutes. His name is Harry Balloons. Oh yeah, my friend Pete. Is Pete watching? No.
I don't see him.
All right. So that was awesome. Give her a treat. You did a great job with her. This was all in about what? Really, 2 weeks? Not even?
Well, we started last Monday.
Last Monday. Let's talk about that when we get back yesterday.
Wow.
And this dog, I wish I had.
60 seconds.
All right, let's talk about it on the radio. And she hasn't jumped at you lately. She goes in a crate. Because you know why? Because you're following the system and you're putting structure in.
Exactly.
She's listening. Could you find my coffee?
It's right out. It's right outside.
Thank you, honey. She pays a lot of money for this. She does. Then put the scotch in. She mixes the drink. Thank you so much. Thank you, sweetheart. She's such a good girl. Not good girl. That's the wrong.
I was like,
that's the wrong. Yeah, that's the wrong pronoun. What do I call you? An it? What?
No,
I don't know. Never mind.
don't get into that.
Yeah, don't get into it.
Yeah, don't get it.
Yeah, you get close to the thing. Facebook people, this is what we do during the break.
And 5,
5 seconds, we're going live. We're going to talk about Zara. I want this dog adopted tonight. We got to get pictures of everybody. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould, mayor of Houndstown, USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. Since our inception, we've taken care of 1.5 million dogs. A very small percentage of them, unfortunately, were shelter dogs. So we want to be partners. We don't Houndstown Charities. So Houndstown Charities is our philanthropic part of our profitable business. It's a 501c3. And we want to do something meaningful for the community. We don't want to just write it. I could write a check for $500 to the Brookhaven Shelter or the Town of Hempstead Shelter. I could do that. But it's more important to me that we do something meaningful. So since joining me again is Ashley Boyd from Town of Hempstead and Karen Aguilar. Am I saying that right?
Aguilar.
Aguilar.
Dawn
Aguilar. Well,
Karen.
Aguilar. Just
Dawn
Karen. Karen.
Whatever.
Karen, right. Dawn, Karen. You know, well, here, you're laughing, and you should, because I'm a buffoon. But, dogs really, if you think about it, why I struggle with names, is most people here know who I'm talking to if I look at them. If I look in their eyes, they know who I'm talking to. And dogs in the wild, animals in the wild, aren't named by their mother. They know where their place is in the pack, and they know all their life lessons, but they're really not given a name. So anyway, with that said, that's just covering for my inability to remember people's names. So before the break, we're talking about two very important things, and I'm really going to ask people listening or are on Facebook, just do the right thing. You might know, have a relatives that may be homebound. Some of the dogs I'm talking about, not necessarily Zara, but you're talking about these hospice dogs.
Yeah.
You could do such a wonderful thing for dogs. If you were ever in the nursing profession or healthcare profession, it would be a perfect fit for you. If you're retired from healthcare, this is a perfect thing. Contact your local shelter, specifically the Town of Hempstead, has a dog right now waiting for somebody to open up their heart and their home. Her name is Callie, and the shelter will help you with this. You know, it's not like you're not adopting the dog. Just understand that. We're not asking you to adopt the dog. We're asking you to foster. Foster means just that. Take the dog into your home of the heart so it doesn't have to die in a shelter. Let's put it very frankly. Then, I don't want people to feel guilty, but just think about this. Think about it. These dogs are going to die in a shelter. Now, let's fast forward, and this shouldn't be a sad story, because you can change this. This isn't sad. Dogs die. We all die, and we have hospice for humans, and people want to die with dignity. They want to die with dignity, and just be around other people that love them. That's it. And so now we're going from hospice, which is just part of the life cycle, to the other end. Now I have a 2-year-old dog here, this beautiful husky named Zara, full of energy, full of life. Where did she live? She lives in the shelter. And she's going to go back to the shelter tonight. We have a wonderful, not a volunteer, an employee, Karen, from the shelter, and she's done such an amazing job with this dog. A week ago, this dog, no, he's not vicious, he's not aggressive, but he was jumping, pulling, and he's just unruly. And now Karen, in a week, how long has it been?
1 week today.
Get closer to the mic.
1 week today.
All right, so 1 week ago today, and we have this on video, I'm pretty sure I do. We're going to put that video together. So if somebody's out there, again, you don't have to be a master dog trainer, you don't have to have 5 acres of property. In fact, you could just, as long as you have a backyard that's enclosed, where you could open the door and let Zara, her biggest thing in life is smelling the ground. She just likes to go outside, sniff, pee, and poop. That's what she did today, and she loves that. So you don't need big things, and it's the same. This dog is up for adoption, not foster, right? You want to adopt this dog.
Adoption.
And no kids.
We're looking for experienced adopters, no other pets or children, but someone who's responsible and committed to providing stability and structure.
Right, and those are the things we're looking for. 3 things we're always looking for: leadership, structure, and consistency. That's it. You can sit on the floor with Zara, break out some popcorn and beer, and watch Dr. Phil, watch Dancing with the Stars. But, she might not be the dog that you want to take fishing, hiking, all these crazy things that people try to have dogs do. Sometimes we project our needs on poor dogs. Dogs just want to be dogs. So they're closer, as I always say, they're closer to wolves than they are humans. So they don't necessarily want to participate in your 4th of July barbecue, your Christmas, their party. They don't want this. These are historically the times that people get bit by dogs. What happens think of Christmas. It's not quite right around the corner, but it's getting there. So all of a sudden, there's a tree growing in the dog's living room. It pisses on it, pulls the balls off of it. Now people are screaming at it, yelling at it. And these are dogs actually that end up in the shelter because people mismanage their dogs. They don't understand their dogs. They allow the dogs to cross all these social boundaries. And then what happens? They take it to the shelter. More times, whether these guys want to admit this or not, people lie, make stories up of them moving to Toledo, Ohio, or something happened, and they dump these dogs off. And you, Karen, said a Good Samaritan found this dog? Right.
Yeah.
But how do we know the Good Samaritan wasn't really her owner? We don't know, but we won't go into that.
It happens pretty often.
It happens often, right? People lie,
Yeah.
and they want to get rid of their dogs because she was kind of a difficult dog. That's why Karen is talking about what were the words you used? A responsible,
Stable and stability and structure, somebody that's committed. What happens oftentimes at the shelter when we're trying to look for adopters, a lot of times, I feel like you've spoken to this a number of times, but people have their own idea of what it means to be a owner to a pet, and a lot of times it doesn't really coincide with what we're looking for. They aren't interested in following certain parameters or providing structure, giving stability, and so they get returned or they get thrown out onto the street because of their own mistakes. And so the dogs keep going back in and cycling through the shelter again through no fault of their own. It's people that are just misinformed or they're not educated to how exactly they're supposed to be. treating the dogs.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. So that's it. It's just a misunderstanding. So there's a big word called anthropomorphism, where we project our needs, our human ideas and emotions on a poor dog. So if you see Zara here, if you're lucky enough to be on Facebook or if you go online, this is just a beautiful dog. You don't project your neediness on him. Just leave the dog be. So we project, all the dog needs is structure. It doesn't need much. You don't have to run out. You don't have to cook special meals for it. You don't have to do anything. She just wants a certain amount of love and structure. And like Karen said, a lot of people they don't get it. So you might have had a husky when you were 5 years old, so you go to the shelter and get a husky. This dog, huskies pull things. That's what they're bred to do. They're bred to pull sleds and stuff, and so it's obviously going to pull on a leash. So yeah, open up your hearts. Not even, this dog is just plain old cool. He's on a little bit of a diet. Well, last time I saw him, he was a little chubby there, right? So he's on Weight Watchers now. He's on a special diet. But like Karen said, this is a treadmill. Your dogs come, they go, they come, they go, and nobody just takes the time. And wouldn't you say it's pretty simple advice you're talking about? Explain what you would want a pet owner to do.
Follow directions.
Yeah, follow directions.
Right.
We spend a lot of time as employees just trying to explain to them what would be an ideal situation for the dogs as far as their schedule and their routine, their structure, certain things as far as letting them on the bed or on the couch too soon, giving them just really high value bones right away, just a lot of simple instructions that people disregard because it makes them feel better.
Right,
So just
thank you.
Give it all away. For free.
Exactly. You couldn't, exactly. So it's a toxic mix because you're giving animals what you think they need, and none of it is what they need. So, which reminds me, right around the corner is this holiday where you people go trick or treat, but Halloween. So Halloween's coming around. So there is going to be a segment of people that are going to dress their dogs up, and I get it. Half of them are my customers, so I got to be careful. I don't. But just understand something. Just understand. Dogs don't want to be dressed up like bumblebees. When you put the elastic strap around their neck, they might not like that. And when these little buggers come and knock on your door and say trick or treat, your dog, he's not going to know why there's a ghost or skeleton standing at its dog wanting food. Accidents happen on Halloween, no doubt about it. The lights go back, everything is out of balance, including for myself. We're going to take a break, and then in the last segment, we're going to pull this all together. We're going to talk about Hospice, Zara, and we're going to talk about the dangers of Halloween coming up right around the corner. Daylight savings time, all the things that get your dogs out of balance. Your dog's going to bite somebody, and they're going to end up in the shelter. Stay with us 2 more minutes, and we're going to wrap this all up. All right, and then we're going to do Ripley someday.
Yeah.
Eh.
Well, we don't have to talk about him.
No, we
I
don't
just
have
need
to.
you to take him.
Yeah, you just need to, we will.
I'm just kidding.
No, here it is. So we're going to have these three now. We get this dog out, and Ripley goes in the competent hands of Karen. She just keeps doing this.
Well, I'm not going to give Karen one of my dogs.
Well, then you'll take one out. We'll see. We'll figure out a way of. Well, you probably have enough project dogs
I was
there.
gonna say, I told you I'll bring him back.
Right, you'll have
I'll
to bring them.
work
It's just that obviously it's easier for me at Brookhaven because it's close.
Yeah,
But I don't mind.
I
as long as
live
you-
right here.
Aye, you got a
Remember I
deal.
said I'd drop him off to you and you keep him for like 2 days and then I'll
Yeah,
come and
no, I
work
do.
with
I
him and
remember.
take
So
him
right when we get back from Detroit, we'll do that. We'll bring Ripley. How's he with other dogs? You don't
the
know.
best.
Oh, good.
He's like the
All right,
best.
so
He
we'll talk
needs
to-
to live with another dog.
And what is it, like a little black pit
It's
bull?
like pity, yeah. It's like a requirement. He has to go home with another dog.
Oh, good. All right, so we're going to talk about this dog. Clutch got adopted. No thanks to the show, but we don't have to say that.
You don't know.
They
You
don't
never
know. Right. We know. We can't lie. We know. Had nothing to do with this.
You never do know.
No, but this is really good, and then we can get him. This guy
It
can.
has been a big adjustment though.
What do you mean?
Like what you've told me to do, and now I'm like seeing everybody else.
Right.
what
When you
they
get
do.
annoyed,
Yeah.
gets you crazy.
Well, it's just informing. Like
Yeah.
informative.
Yeah.
Everybody like stares at everything so much.
Right.
Stares at all of them.
Exactly. Yeah, no, but I like to see, not that, I know the dog is going to come around, it's just when the human just really,
Makes that progress.
and steps out of their comfort zone, because it's hard, it's opposite of probably 100 things that you were kind of taught to do or you thought you should do. I mean, some of it is a little bit, kind of looks a little weird or whatever, but the dog is actually more focused on you now. I mean, he was bad. He was jumping up. I was worried the first day. He came up with the leash. He was little. Hi, are you listening? Was anybody on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm looking right now because.
All right. We're going back for our last segment. We're going to talk about this dog, Zara.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. You're a good girl. Starting to like you.
4, 3.
Sorry.
No one could stand this dog.
No, I.
Do you remember her?
No, I showed you that last night. Carrie and I, tomorrow will be 3 times in 1 week we're hanging out.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs, the show about dog behavior. So what we try to do on the Dish on Dogs is explain, or fill the void between humans, what human thinks about dogs, and what dogs' real needs are. And keeping up with that theme, this is a great show because Houndstown Charities, the Brookhaven Town Shelter, and the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter are we do things in collaboration. We partner with each other to help dogs. The ultimate goal is to take dogs that are completely misunderstood, and we have a perfect example of this, Zara, who she's a big girl. How much does she weigh, or did she weigh before we put her on Weight Watchers?
79.6 pounds.
Right, so 80 pounds, we'll round up. So we have this big, powerful 2-year-old 80-pound dog. And the wonderful thing about this is when you see, if you watched our demonstration, or if you go on our Houndstown radio, what do they do, Danielle? How do they watch this?
Houndstown Radio on Facebook.
Houndstown Radio, Facebook. You'll see this demonstration. It doesn't have to do with strength. You don't have to be creepy guy like me, ugly. You can be, just this nice petite person, and this dog can be a wonderful companion for you. But she was misunderstood, and at the shelter she didn't present herself very well, right? So if you're walking down in most shelters, and shelters, by the way, folks, despite what you think, they work so hard and they do so much to try to get dogs adopted. But I don't know if we were talking on the last segment or we were talking during the break, but people don't listen to the people at the shelter. They know what they're doing. They're going to give you simple advice. In fact, the advice is so simple that most people complicate it. So the one thing is that when people adopt dogs, they feel sorry for the dogs emotionally, and that's what we call the anthropomorphic part. So you take them home, you start cooking them shrimp scampi because you think that you have to have this. They just need structure. And of course they need physical love, and we demonstrate to you how and when to give that to you. So if you saw the transformation of Zara, who's sitting here, standing here, and where she is a week ago today. So this is an amazing dog, and I think that somebody out there should adopt. Somebody knows somebody who's looking for a dog. Not a lot of drama. Dogs don't do well with drama. Drama, no good. What's going to happen on Halloween? The most nice balanced dog is going to be out of balance because crazy things happen. Doorbells ring, it's going to be darker, so now the dog's whole. That's a thing that humans do. We switch clocks. Dogs don't tell time. They don't have wristwatches on. They tell time by the changes in their environment. Now all of a sudden you're going to be doing things differently next week when the clocks go back. Do they go back or ahead? Fall ahead. They go ahead. Back. Fall back, right. So anyway, these are things that people don't listen, they don't even understand. Dogs are just simple creatures. They just need structure. Anyway, don't get me started on. All right, we won't talk about emotional support dogs. Let's talk about Ashley. Talk about what?
You talk about emotional support dogs every episode.
Yeah, because it annoys me that human beings are so selfish that they go online, spend $150, get a sticker and a vest that says a dog's an emotional support dog, and you project all your toxic energy on a poor little dog. It's really despicable. So it really does annoy me, obviously. And then, like all things that are good, it takes away from people that really need dogs, right? So there are dogs that provide certain things to humans, but really what they almost, in my mind, I'm not an animal behaviorist, I'm not a vet, but every dog at the shelter is an emotional support dog for me. Zara is an emotional support dog, but I don't need any special privileges. I'm not going to take her on Southwest Airlines. I'm going to pet her, her tail's going to wag, and she's going to be a wonderful companion. So Zara's available. The next dog we're going to be taking is Ripley. So you folks, if you're watching and listening, Town of Hempstead, in conjunction with Houndstown Charities, we're going to take Ripley. Tell us about Ripley.
So Ripley's been at the shelter for a few months now. He's very young, probably around 1 to 2 years old. Black terrier mix, normal, typical, overlooked every day. He's young, he's high energy, and because he's high energy and probably didn't really have much structure when he was growing up, he's very mouthy and jumpy. He loves other dogs, so when we put him in play groups, he's in his glory, but he definitely needs the structure, and he's been in homes before where they haven't provided it, and so he came back to the shelter.
Right.
It's the same exact thing. We give specific instructions, we go through it in length, and people unfortunately just don't follow up with
Right.
it.
And it's simple instructions. We talk about instructions. We're not talking about complicated things. You don't have to get up extra early. You don't have. It's actually the opposite. The dog will adapt to your lifestyle. If you want to sleep till 9, the dog will sleep to 9, providing his needs are met. Obviously, he has to be let out to relieve himself. He has to be fed, and they have to have water. That's it. The rest is just shelter and love, meaning they need your home to live in. And so it's kind of simple, and people complicate it and make it difficult. So I'm certain. So Ripley, if you guys are looking for really good dogs, because Houndstown Charities, as I said, so Karen and Zara is a perfect example of a week ago. This dog would be a difficult dog to adopt. She was jumping and she was kind of unruly, not vicious by any stretch of the imagination, but it doesn't matter if she's vicious or not. If she drags you down and you break your hip, it doesn't matter whether she had the greatest temperament in the world. And at the very competent hands of Karen, this dog has switched completely. And how do I know that? We have it on video. So you'll watch our videos and you'll see that. What else were we talking about? Tell me about other programs that's going on at the Town of Brookhaven Animal Show.
We have a couple of promotions.
Promotions.
Calling all Republicans and Democrats.
Democrats, like it. Very clever. Did you make that up?
Republicans.
Oh, Republicans and Democrats. Okay, got it.
November 3rd and 4th is $65 adoptions.
Oh, right.
Thankful for Second Chances is our second promotion the week of November 19th through the 25th. We are also doing $65 adoptions for both dogs and cats. And November is Senior Pet Month, which means all of our senior dogs and cats over the age of 6 will be free of all fees all month long, so November. And we're finishing up, obviously, October. Our cats, we have waived all the fees until the 31st.
All right, that's nice. That is wonderful. So that's Brookhaven Town Shelter, right? So if you want an emotional support dog or an emotional support cat, they're waiting for you at the Brookhaven Town Animal Shelter. Ripley, all of these dogs, they just want a home. So really, it's really shocking to me. Back in the day when I used to get police dogs, my very first police dog came from the Smithtown Animal Shelter. Back then, we used to go to all of the shelters and find dogs. So here it was, a German Shepherd that was on, back then it was death row because they kept dogs back in the late 70s and early 80s. They kept the dogs for 3 days. If they didn't get adopted, they were euthanized. Now that's not what happens at shelters. Don't believe what you hear about shelters. Shelters, with this social media, another toxic environment. It's crazy people go on social media. These are wonderful people trying to do the right thing, and they're on a treadmill to some degree because as both Karen and Ashley said, this is a treadmill. The dogs go out, people make the dogs worse than when they came in, and this constant recidivism. So there's these wonderful pets. If you're halfway normal, if the operative word, if you're halfway normal and you just want you don't have to be its master. It's not a possession. It's going to be part of your life. It's going to be part of your life depending on its age, from 10, 12 years, or in the case if you want to adopt a hospice dog, maybe it's 6 months or a year, but it can bring you all the joy, happiness, spiritual enrichment you could possibly have. You can then go on Facebook and tell all your friends that you take care of a hospice dog or something and see how wonderful you are. You can add that to your wonderfulness on your resume. Another wonderful thing you do, hospice. Okay, so do that. I've done it. It's very rewarding. It's sad. We have Zooming Rosie at home now, 2-legged dog. She wears a diaper. She couldn't be a better pet. It could not be a better pet Zooming Rosie. All right, so you're listening to The Dish on Dogs, another exciting episode. I've managed to put everybody in the studios to sleep here, and I'm sure you folks at home are now sound asleep with a bottle of wine knocked over next to you. We'll talk again next week, every night, every Monday night at 8 p.m., The Dish on Dogs. Thanks for joining us. Joan and Tom Sullivan, good night down in Beverly Hills, and I don't mean California. Good night, everybody. All right, I think